What's up, wrestling fans? This is Webby, and I have some late breaking news that I have just seen on BleacherReport.com. Dave Meltzer, and this is according to BleacherReport.com, that Dave Meltzer is reporting that WWE could be making a new women's championship and a new tag team championship for SmackDown Live. Yes, for SmackDown Live. Now, I have a couple different thoughts about this. Now, as most of us know, because this has been all over the wrestling news for a while, and it's pretty much common sense that if SmackDown's going to be its own uh, brand, then it will have its own pay-per-views. And Shane McMahon mentioned that Backlash will be happening in September. You can go back and check on SmackDown to confirm that. But this past SmackDown, he said that Backlash would be in September. SmackDown's very first, its own pay-per-view. So, to me, I always thought that the women's championship and the tag team championship should come to both brands. The women's champion and tag team champions should go to both brands. I think that would be better. It'd be more competitive in my eyes. It could be exclusive to both brands, but I understand why they would make new titles for SmackDown, even though I think that it makes the championships less important. To me, it makes it less important. The more titles you have, the more titles, the less important the championships are, in my eyes. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is it a good idea that they have more championships besides the fact that they're having pay-per-views? Now, it helps with the pay-per-views. Having more championships kind of helps with the pay-per-views. Even though Vince McMahon himself said during the Stone Cold podcast, his very first podcast on the WWE Network, and I'm paraphrasing here, that people don't watch for the titles. People watch for the rivalries, or the feuds, whichever one you want to call them. I think it's a little bit of both. He said that the championships help, but people come for the rivalries and for the characters. So, but what I really think about having more championships, though, besides the fact that it makes the titles less important, is where it helps the pay-per-views, because if you didn't have championships on the line, then there wouldn't be as big of a reason to tune in to watch a SmackDown pay-per-view. But I want you to take a look at the SmackDown's women's roster. Number 1. We have Carmella, Eva Marie, Naomi, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Becky Lynch. 6 women. Now, how many matches can you make with just 6 women? And let's be honest. And I know I am not the only one that criticizes Eva Marie when I say this. But for you wrestling fans out there, do you honestly see Eva Marie going after a women's title? Because I don't. She's not that type of, superstar. She's not that type of character. She's not a wrestler. I did see on the Bleacher Report that she did get hurt last night at on SmackDown. I did see that. So I hope she gets better. But anyway, so I just think, how many times can we see Natalya versus Becky Lynch? I mean, we already saw that feud, right? How many times can we see Becky Lynch versus Naomi? Or, Carmella versus Alexa Bliss, which is something new on the main roster. But, how many times can we see that match? I know some people are saying, oh, we could see that all day long. But still, after a while, rivalries get old. So, to me, it's just kind of what I feel about it, that there needs to be more depth on the women's roster, or it's just going to get stale. The same thing goes for the WWE Tag Team Championship on SmackDown, whatever they call it. I don't know what they're going to call it. It hasn't been reported yet. But if the rumors are true that they are getting their own championships, they are going to run into that same problem in my eyes. Big reason is there's not a lot of depth to the roster. During the draft, they really got the shaft. They really got the shaft during the draft. You look at the roster, they got American Alpha, the Dudleys, the Ascension, the Vaudevillians. They could add in Zack Ryder and his NXT tag team partner that just came up to SmackDown. They could do that. They could mix in a few single stars as, tag teams. But overall, the tag team division is kind of lying. What do you all think about that? I mean, to me, you need more depth in your roster. And let's be honest, and I don't mean to just pick out and pick on superstars here, but I want you to take somebody like the Ascension. The Ascension, I can't ever see going after the tag team championships. Because they were absolutely buried on Monday Night Raw. And we don't have a reason to care about it. A big reason is their gimmick. It's not their fault. It's their gimmick. Whoever came up with that Legion of Doom gimmick is just dumb. And it's beyond me. I don't understand why they would do something like that. But, do we honestly think we're going to see the Ascension as tag team champions or as a tag team threat? Not with the gimmick that they had. Now, if they do something different, then we might see them as a threat. But it takes a lot of building, and they got a lot of work to do. They need a new overhaul, a new look before. And the reason why I'm using the extension as a example is because they're a team that, as of right now, that SmackDown has, with the few teams that they have, that you really wouldn't think would go up for tag team championships. Now, I could be wrong, but as of right now, that's kind of how I see it. Now, would I like if they would give some of these tag teams a new overhaul and let them branch out and give them a new makeover and a new gimmick? The Extension could be a great tag team, a much better tag team, if they would just give them a new gimmick and stop trying to play this Legion of Doom stuff. I mean, we don't even see them on TV. The Vaudevillains, I like the Vaudevillains. The problem is that their character isn't going over because it's too old. It's very old school type, and it's not going over with today's modern era. It just doesn't. To me, that's what their problem was. It was their gimmick, and it didn't go over. So now they're just used as jobbers, and people don't care about them. You know, if you don't give a reason to care about them, then fans aren't going to care about them. So that's what I think about the new championships that are being rumored about. What do you all think? And the other thing that I want to discuss is Roman Reigns officially being put on the mid-card. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking he deserves the main event. There's somebody out there that's going to watch this, and you probably think he deserves the main event. He deserves a slap on the wrist for what he did. And as everybody knows, that it's been rumored for the past several weeks now that WWE is doing or is hoping to do some redemption story. And you know, if this is the start of the redemption story, then I think it would be great if, well, one, he laid down for Rusev at SummerSlam. Because if they are trying to portray Rusev as this unstoppable monster, there's no better way to show that he's an unstoppable monster than to be a former world champ, in my eyes. And then maybe Roman Reigns gets tired and then just goes on Rampage and beats people up. I don't know. But I think him dropping down to a mid-card is, you know, it's probably the best thing right now, and at least they're doing something with him. I'm fine him being a mid-card. Because with him being a mid-card, it doesn't feel like he is being shoved down our throat. In my eyes, it doesn't feel like he's being shoved down our throat. So, what do you all think? Do you all think that he should be in the mid-card now? Do you think that he should put Rusev over? What do you all think about the tag team championships and the women's championship and about them getting new titles? Or do you think that the women's championship on Raw and a tag team championship on Raw should have just went back and forth to each show? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, like it, comment below, subscribe, and I will see you right back here for my NXT and Cruiserweight Classic review. Until then, I'll catch you on the other side.